All right, good evening, everyone. So welcome to the course orientation for English 510, that is teaching of literature. So I think I'm familiar with most of you enrolled to the class, except for a few names that I haven't handled yet in the previous semesters. So I wanted to record this as a sort of an orientation as well as expectation setting for what to expect for the class. And what will transpire within the next 5 to 6 months in the course of you taking or finishing the needed coursework for the subject. Okay, so again, as I've mentioned, this is English 510, teaching of literature, and this is worth three minutes. Now, in terms of the course description, so basically this is just a course that seeks to develop your knowledge on the principles, the methods and approaches in translation and adaptation of various texts, as well as in managing and facilitating learning in a literature class. So in the course of the semester, we are going to cover the following topics. Let me share my screen so you will be able to view it. Okay. So you should be seeing it on your end now. So first off, we'll be talking about the use of literature in a language learning classroom. So here in this part, we are going to discuss how difficult it is to define what literature is and why is it important that we do so. What is literary competence and how does it affect or how does it impact language learning in the classroom setting? And what's the reason why we use literature, at least in the context of the Philippines? Next, we're going to talk about the approaches that is used in teaching literature in a language learning setup or in the context of language learning. So we're going to tackle three main approaches and look at how these approaches differ depending on which approach you choose or you want to apply in your class. Following this, we'll have the selection and evaluation of material. So as part of your job as a literature teacher is choosing which literary texts to use and which materials to use in a literature class. So here we're going to tackle what basis can you use and how or what is the process in which you can evaluate any of these literary texts. I understand that in the context of the Department of Education, all of these have already been pre-selected, but we're working under the assumption that you have the capability to decide freely what to incorporate in a literature class. And in the case of DepEd, I know that there are prescribed literary texts to use, but it wouldn't hurt to learn how to or to be knowledgeable of what are the guidelines that you use when you are selecting and evaluating text materials. And then we're going to jump to the discussion of cross-culture and how reading and literature can help aid in that. So this is more something to do with, we're gonna digress from language learning per se, but we're going to look at it in a more holistic sense, like how does the teaching of literature affect our idea that we are building or we are helping build global citizens or holistically developed students. A big chunk of the course will also tackle the designing of materials and lesson planning. Now, here it's gonna be a little bit tricky in your case because you all are practicing teachers, or some of you have had experience in teaching or in handling literature classes. So here we are just going to look at how, because going back, we talked about the approaches, right? So how, if let's say you are choosing literature as a tool for learning or acquiring a new language as the approach, how does it translate? How does it look in a lesson plan? If that's the paradigm that you're using, or if you're saying that You're using literature as a way to develop the students personally, like for personal development. How does it look as a lesson plan? So you can see the difference. Because again, it would always boil down to what is the purpose of the class that you are handling. Okay, so a big chunk of this will be on what we will spend on critiquing less existing lesson plans and helping others improve uh, the achievement of the goals set forth in a specific class. And then lastly, we're going to talk about reflections and how reflections or reflective essays or activities of that sort can help deepen a literature class. So how can it be used as a tool by the teacher to help add dimension to a literature class? Okay, so just a little bit there, because again, the trend nowadays is that our assessments are more reflective. Our assessments are more introspective, specifically for a literature class. So we are going to visit that aspect. Okay, so all in all, if you add all of these hours here, it's going to total to 52 hours. So of course, at the end of this class, your primary requirements would be sample lesson plans, a feedback or a critique of a lesson plan, and of course, term paper. Those are what you will need to finish or you need to provide at the end of the class. Now, expectation setting. I mentioned this in the group chat that unfortunately I also have a class in my doctorate in CNU for the schedule allotted for this class, and I was told that I have the option of just giving materials or uploading materials on the LMS, as long as you are given tasks and instructions on how to proceed with the 3 hours allotted for the class, it should be okay. However, I would also still like to meet you every now and then, maybe after you submit your tasks or your outputs for a given module. I will be meeting you just to discuss or to reiterate some important points that were probably missed or that you did good on in the outputs that you have submitted. So, however, in the absence of a schedule or a notice in the group chat, that means that you should expect that you will be doing the coursework on your own asynchronously. Okay, so again, as I've said, if there is no notice from me, no invitation or no announcement from me, that means that for every Saturday at 3 to 6 p.m., you will need to log into the LMS so that you can view whatever materials I have uploaded and check what instructions I have provided for the course. Okay, now just like the rest of subjects in the grad school, we will follow the board approved the board approved distribution or basis for the computation of the grades. So there will be no special cases for the class. Everything is going to follow as is. So 25% for the summative, 15 for the quizzes. Wait, I might be mistaken. I'm not sure if that is the case. Wait, let me share with you this the syllabus. Where is the syllabus? Just a moment. Okay, so the distribution will be 15% for the quizzes, 20% for the participation. That would include all the exercises, the tasks that I will be assigning you to do on your offline or on our asynchronous classes. The term requirements that I've mentioned, the learning plan, the lesson plan, the critique of the lesson plan, and the third paper is 25%. And then of course our examination, which is 40%. That's a total of 100%. So 50% for the final grade, 50% for the midterm, and 50% for the final grade. Regarding the what's this, the prescribed reference that you're going to use for the class, I will be sharing a soft copy or an ebook. So kindly check in at the LMS to download the ebook. However, please keep in mind that this is only going to be shared to the class. That it's not, I do not give you permission to share it to people outside of the class, because again, we might have problems with the licensing and the copywriting. So again, this is only going to be shared within the class. And should there be a need for you to send it to somebody else, please do ask permission from me. Okay, now, if you would like to use any other references, that is okay. But the primary references that we are going to use, I will be sharing in the LMS. Now, lastly, before I end the course orientation video, please keep in mind that I will also be tracking your login times to the LMS. So that means instead of checking the attendance, instead of having online classes via Zoom or Google Meet and checking the attendance there, I will be looking at your login dates and login times. So that means you should at least be logged in on Saturday at 3 to 6 p.m. or any time within 3 to 6 p.m. It's up to you if you're just gonna like peek at the instructions, take a look at the instructions and work on it at a later time, that is okay. But then I would need to see that you tried or attempted to log in during those times. Please note that I do have access to that. So I will be able to see those of my students who have logged in and those who have not. Okay, so that would be it. Now, should there be any questions, I welcome you to message me or to chat or message me via LMS or via Facebook, or you can also post on the group chat. But I would have to stick to the schedule for the consultation, which is 6 to 9 p.m. every Saturday. So please, if you have time or if you have questions or if you have concerns about your class performance, I encourage you to message me on Saturdays at 6 to 9 p.m. so I can reply to you right away. Otherwise, you can message me anytime, but please do not expect a reply right away because I'll probably be doing something else. Okay, so that would be it. Again, I'll be uploading a separate video discussing the first module for the class, since I won't be able to meet you again because I have a class in another subject in my for my doctorate degree. So I will be uploading another video maybe later this week or by Saturday before our class time. So you can use the time for viewing the video and also for working on the tasks or exercises. All right, that will be it. Thank you very much for your time. And right, I'll see you around. Ano